CNY Central. This is Today in Central New York on NBC3. Presented in enhanced widescreen. Voted Best Newscast by the Syracuse Press Club for the second year in a row.
Good morning and thanks so much for joining us. I'm Lisa Spitz. We continue to follow breaking news this morning out of Texas. Officials say it's going to be some time before they know how many people have been killed in a fertilizer plant explosion in the town of West Texas. The explosion left the factory smoldering and also caused major damage to nearby homes. It has just been a horrific scene since this broke out last night. Authorities are still on the scene, and for the very latest right now, we go to David Scott in Texas.
It has been an eerie night for the 2,800 people who live in the town of West Texas. We're about a half hour north of Waco. About half the town has been evacuated because of the fear of dangerous toxic fumes in the air. The crews of the media not allowed to go anywhere near the town at this point. The latest count we've gotten is some 100 people, more or less, are injured. They're not giving us any fatality count. There's too much destruction and rubble still to go through. It began last evening with a small fire at the West Fertilizer Plant around 7 o'clock. And then shortly before 8 came the big blast. Cell phone video submitted to NBC affiliate KXAS shows the fireball, the blast ripping through the West Fertilizer Plant in Texas.
The plant was on fire prior to the explosion. It was pretty fully engulfed when I arrived.
Firefighters were already on the scene as well as EMS when the explosion occurred.
When I have no idea how many EMS people may be hurt.
A blast so strong many thought it was an earthquake.
Massive, just like Iraq, just like the Murray building in Oklahoma City. Same kind of anhydrous exploded, so you can imagine what kind of damage we're looking at there.
75 buildings, including homes, a middle school, and nursing home, damaged or destroyed.
We're going house to house, business to business, and we're seeing quite a bit of devastation in that area.
We got a lot of people still trapped in houses, but that's dangerous materials. That's hazardous material. We can't get to them.
A triage center was established at a local high school, but later evacuated for fear of a second explosion.
Right now, we have tremendous amount of injuries, probably over 100 injuries at this time.
Fires by the blast burned into the morning. Those fires and possible dangerous fumes preventing emergency workers from searching the rubble. Now, in the next couple of hours, dawn will come. That should make the relief and recovery go a little bit easier. We're told that a large contingent of federal investigators are on their way here to see exactly what happened. As for local recovery efforts, they tell us no more help is needed. EMS and fire departments from hundreds of miles away have come here to help, and they're needed. David Scott reporting for NBC News in West Texas.
David, thank you. There could be a major break in the Boston Marathon bombing case. This morning, we are waiting for the FBI to release photos of a possible suspect. FBI officials say they have photos of at least one man seen dropping a bag at the scene of Monday's Boston Marathon bombings. The images were captured on surveillance camera video from the Lord & Taylor department store near the scene of the second explosion. The video reportedly shows the man talking on a cell phone, putting the backpack on the ground, and then running away when the first bomb exploded. Authorities are trying to use facial recognition software to identify the man. Monday's attack left 3 people dead and more than 170 people hurt. President Obama is going to Boston this morning to speak at an interfaith service on the city's south end. The trip comes after the president spoke at a press conference yesterday where he expressed his disappointment in the Senate for defeating new gun control legislation. President Obama will speak at that interfaith service at a Catholic church this morning at 11 o'clock. You can watch it right here because we are going to carry it live on NBC3. National teams continue to show their support for the victims of the Boston Marathon bombings. This was the start of last night's Boston Bruins versus Buffalo Sabres hockey game. The crowd passionately, as you can hear, sang along during the national anthem. The crowd went wild when a blue and yellow ribbon with the words "Boston Strong" was displayed on the Jumbotron and on the ice. Here in central New York, we can expect to see security upgrades at some sporting events. In response to what happened in Boston, the On Center complex in Syracuse is working with the Crunch hockey team to beef up security for its next 2 home games this weekend. The War Memorial will open 15 minutes earlier than usual, and if you go, your bags will be searched. Meantime, NBT Stadium in Syracuse says new security sweeps will be done at the Chief games. New this morning, we are learning more about the man accused of mailing letters that tested positive for the poison ricin to President Obama and also a Mississippi senator. Police say 45-year-old Paul Kevin Curtis described in his letters uncovering a conspiracy to trade human body parts on the black market and sometimes also performed as an Elvis impersonator. Curtis was arrested yesterday at his home about 100 miles east of Memphis, Texas. The FBI said that he was suspected of mailing letters to the president and also Mississippi Senator Roger Wicker that were intercepted on Tuesday. We have new information that we just got from Syracuse police. They told us that a motorcycle driver has now died from his injuries that he sustained in a crash on James Street in Syracuse last night. That crash happened just before 8 o'clock last night at the corner of Sedgwick Street and James Street. According to police, the 38-year-old driver slammed into the back of an SUV headed from Eastwood toward downtown. The impact caused the driver to be ejected from the bike. He was then thrown into the road where he was hit by another car. He was taken to the hospital where he has died from his injuries. His identity is not yet being released as his family is being notified. Right now, the investigation into that crash is continuing. Syracuse police are also investigating a shooting on the south side of the city. Police say one man was taken to the hospital with a gunshot wound after 2 suspects went into his home on West Colvin Street. Police say just after 10 o'clock last night, 2 suspects went into the home and they attempted to rob the victim. There was a struggle and then the victim was shot. The injuries are not life-threatening. Anyone with information should call Syracuse police. Baldwinsville's C.W. Baker High School's marching band got the surprise of a lifetime. The band found out it has been selected to march in the 2014 Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. The creative director and the head of the band selection committee for the parade announced the news yesterday to the Bees.
It gives me great pride and it is with great pleasure that I announce to you today that Baker High School has been selected to represent the great state of New York and perform in New York City in the 2014 Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Big congratulations to the students. Understandably, they're so excited. The band was selected out of hundreds to be just one of 10 bands marching in the iconic Macy's Day Thanksgiving Parade. So congratulations to them. And we know what this means. We want to get them on our show.
Absolutely.
We want them to perform for all of Central New York before they perform for, I would say, not only the country, but really the world, because everybody sees that parade.
You're right. Congratulations to the Baldwinsville band there. We're looking ahead and seeing some of the warmest air of the season. I'm happy to report that's on its way. What else is on our way? Well, of course, the 7-day forecast, so you're updated before you leave for work and school next.
It is 5:10 on this Thursday morning. Thanks so much for starting off your day with us. And good news right now, the weather's going to be looking nice today.
Oh, yeah. Well, we got to get through a chance of a shower thunderstorm this morning, Lisa. But then this afternoon, it's going to be windy but warmer. We're expecting temperatures to hit 70 or better today and tomorrow.
So we know you've already said that this weekend isn't going to be as nice.
No.
So you know right now, this morning, go outside today and enjoy it in the afternoon if you can.
Afternoon today, morning tomorrow.
Okay.
Those are going to be the best parts of the next couple of days.
Sounds good.
All right, let's get to it and show you the details here. I've mentioned a chance of a shower thunderstorm. You'll see this on the radar. Look, we're not quite warm yet. It's in the 40s, although we're rising already up to 45 now in Syracuse, 50 in Ithaca. If you look carefully, you can easily see some showers over Lake Ontario. Zoom in for a closer look, and there are actually some local showers that are forming as we speak. You know, we were talking about this possibility ever since the beginning of the week, that once we got into the warmer air, we would obviously start to increase a southerly wind. We're not quite there yet. We've got to get through that warm front, which is now producing a couple of light sprinkles and showers right around the Route 25, 31, and Thruway corridors here from Canandaigua to Phelps and near Weedsport and Cato. These are moving east and developing, so that's why we have that possibility of a shower this morning at the bus stop. You can see some rain in Ogdensburg, too. Just showing you some motion of this. Yes, I know most of the steadiest rain and thunder is far northwest and seemingly going to stay to the north. But again, we still have a couple of developments here that will give us an opportunity for a chance of a shower or thunderstorm. And that's why in the bus stop forecast, that's why I've got that possibility. Look for temperatures this morning still in the 30s for those of you watching us in Chenango County and in Madison County, especially the eastern part of the area. As the winds are still easterly, the sun will come up at about 6:17. Now, once we get that warm front through, the winds, which are easterly this morning, will become southeast to southerly. And boy, what a difference. Two things: the winds are going to really ramp up. Sustained winds are going to be 15 to 25. Gusts this afternoon will be up to 40 miles an hour. But we'll be dry, I think, through the afternoon, a mix of sun and clouds with a high temperature of 74. And I wouldn't be surprised if downtown tonight doesn't get below 60. And we should be in the mid-70s tomorrow. The difference is you get towards the finish of tomorrow afternoon and showers and storms will be likely. And literally in a matter of hours, we'll go from the mid-70s, low to mid-70s Friday, into the mid-40s Friday evening. We're probably going to drop 30 degrees in a couple of hours. So that'll be fairly a big change, and we're not going to get out of the 40s on Saturday. Time now for traffic and weather together. Still unsure how much construction there's going to be on 81, because yesterday both north and south was down to one lane by Taft Road. They have not updated me on whether they're going to continue that or not. We'll see. Otherwise, West Street still has construction northbound, and 481 still has construction northbound. And that's right by the 690 interchange in East Syracuse. Webcam shot for you. 690 at Teal's okay. There was an earlier disabled vehicle that has been cleared. We'll keep an eye on any developments traffic-wise as well. If you see any problems on the roads, let me know about it on Facebook and Twitter. Back inside.
Pete, thanks so much. The time right now, it is 5:14. We're talking sports. Here's Nico Tamurian.
As the New York Yankees started the season, many so-called experts were quick to dismiss the Bronx Bombers as a non-contender this season because of that aging roster and all of those stars on the DL. But there's something about that mystique and aura of the Yankees. After a 1-4 start, New York has gone 7-1 in its last 8 games. Even if for a while last night on NBC3, the Yanks looked destined for a loss. Down 3-0 in the 8th, but a run gets walked in. Then it's Brett Gardner slaps the base hit to left. 2-run score. Just like that, we're all tied up at 3, but not for long. How about this? Joe Girardi sends out Travis Hafner to pinch hit. Yeah, the gamble paid off. How about that? A go-ahead pinch hit home run. Yanks up 4-3. Mariano Rivera closes it out, and the Yankees win by that 4-3 score. The Syracuse Chiefs, though, last night, not quite as lucky. In a doubleheader with Buffalo, they lose 4-3 and 5-4, swept by the Bison at MBT Bank Stadium. And that's your look at sports. I'm Nico Tamurian.
In other sports news this morning, Pope Francis got a signed jersey from a soccer superstar. Famous soccer player Lionel Messi sent a shirt with the words, "with much affection," to the Vatican yesterday. This is the 3rd jersey for the Pope. The Prime Minister of Spain recently gave him a jersey for the Spanish national team. But this is the first gift from the biggest soccer star in the world, who, by the way, also is a native of Argentina. Still ahead, Carnival Cruise Lines makes a big announcement. We'll tell you what it is and how it's going to benefit customers. Plus, a huge warning has been issued to those trying to help the Boston Marathon bombing victims. Find out what it is when we come back. CNY Central is giving you the chance to get big discounts for local restaurant shops and other businesses. Today's deal is for Pirano's Landscaping, and of course, you can find it by clicking on the CNY Central Deals section on our homepage. Right now, we are continuing to follow breaking news this morning out of Texas. Officials say it is going to be some time before they know exactly how many people have been killed in a fertilizer plant explosion in the town of West Texas. The explosion left the factory a smoldering pile of rubble and caused major damage to nearby buildings, including homes. Firefighters were responding to a fire at the plant at the time of the explosion. Right now, some firefighters are missing, and authorities say more than 100 people have been hurt. A triage scene at a nearby high school had to be moved because of continued danger from that blast site. A member of the council there says a 4-block area was totally decimated. And of course, keep it right here. We are going to continue to update you on this breaking news throughout the morning. We're coming up on 5:19 right now, and here's what else is making headlines across America this morning. Carnival Cruise Lines is announcing it's going to spend $300 million to improve its ability to respond in cases of emergencies. Carnival, which had 3 ships suffer various problems in recent months, says it's going to enhance emergency power capabilities and introduce new fire safety technology. Carnival says this comes after a comprehensive operational review, which started after the Triumph suffered a fire in February that left passengers and crew stranded in the Gulf of Mexico. More trouble for American Airlines. The airline canceled more flights yesterday after a problem with its reservation network. The company blamed a software glitch for grounding thousands of flights on Monday. The problem was fixed by late afternoon, but the airline is still trying to catch up on canceled and delayed flights. American Airlines flies nearly 300,000 passengers a day. Experts are warning the public to beware of bogus charities trying to profit from the Boston Marathon tragedy. Just hours after the bombings, one scammer set up a Twitter account claiming to be associated with the Boston Marathon organization and promised to donate $1 for every retweet. Authorities shut it down, but not before the account received more than 50,000 retweets. Before you open up your wallet, experts recommend sticking with well-established charities and make sure the organization is registered with a state agency. This is absolutely disgusting.
It really is.
Just
it seems like
so
that happens,
awful.
you know, when you have a disaster, like a hurricane or something like this, you get these bogus, you know, and I don't know what's wrong with people, really.
I know. One of the other things, as we continue to talk about this tragedy, which is still trending this morning, is just all the false information. I think, you know, that came out yesterday where they had been tweeting news organizations saying that there had been arrests. And I think that, you know, it's more important to be correct than to be first. So it's something people have to think about.
It's a very, well, now with everything, you know, it used to be back in the day before there was even the internet, you'd wait till the 6 o'clock news or something, you know, with Walter Cronkite or whatever it is, and there was so much time. Everybody wants to be immediately first, and that goes for everybody, even locally, too. And it's tough. It's, you know, and then everybody's trying to get the ratings, and because there's so many news outlets, there's so much competition, and that's what's leading to that, you know, misfiring of information by certain networks.
I didn't
Not
like
us,
that.
by the way.
Yes, NBC was very good yesterday. And of course, this tragedy in Texas, hashtag Waco, Texas, West.
Couldn't believe that cell phone video. You showed it earlier in the newscast.
Just country is dealing with a lot right now. It's just a lot. And of course, we're going to continue to follow that breaking news as well as the developments in Boston. Don't forget, you can tweet at us or friend us on Facebook.
Coming up on 524, it's your CNY Central First Alert forecast. It's a little chilly this morning, although temperatures are on their way up. It's going to be the warmest day of the year so far. Staying in Skywatch live in downtown Syracuse. Not much happening right now. We are keeping an eye on that transition, which may come through with a shower or thunderstorm. And you can already see, we talked about this for several days now, that when we would get through this morning, there'd be an opportunity for a shower. Now, the first blush, you might say, all right, I see bolts of lightning there over Lake Ontario. I see some heavier rain, but that's far away. You got to look carefully. I'm going to zoom in for you. As expected, we're now seeing some developments here locally. Northern Finger Lakes and approaching now Lysander and Baldwinsville. It's over Cato and Meridian near Weedsport, Cross Lake. We have some scattered showers. These are moving straight east, should be over the Syracuse area within an hour. We do have some rain tickling the international border between Messina, Ogdensburg, and A Bay. Putting this back together and showing you some motion for you. Most of the activity is moving west to east. Some of it's moving northeast. But again, we still have to get through the boundary, which is still to our south. In other words, that surge of warmer air, that's still south and west of the area. It'll come our way later this afternoon. For now, though, we've got that opportunity for a couple of showers this morning. Temperatures this morning are already increasing a bit in the low to mid 40s over Fairmount and Fenner, 50 in Lafayette and in Ithaca, 49 in Tully, 48 in Cortland, but still stuck in the 30s further east in Cooperstown, Norwich, and Oneonta. Up north, it's mainly 40s. Once we get through a shower or thunderstorm this morning, during the midday and afternoon, the winds shift from east to south, and that southerly wind and increasing sun should increase temperatures. In fact, this number is wrong. This should say 74. I forgot to update this number for you. 74 degrees this afternoon. You'll see that in the 7-day forecast. Back to the west, there's a lot of rain today over the Midwest. We'll get into that coming up Friday afternoon. There you go. 74 the high today. The last time we've had 5 days of 50s or 60s or 70s was back in October 25th to 30th. You can see we do change things up, though, by Saturday. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast. Again, today's high will be 74. Warm and windy this afternoon. Warm and windy for Friday. After 2 p.m., some heavier showers and thunder showers likely. Winds just in and of itself will gust to 40 to 50. If thunderstorms do form and get feisty, damaging winds will be possible. Temperatures will drop 30 degrees by the evening Friday and not be out of the 40s on Saturday. Back inside.
If you're searching for a better way to manage your money, you may want to consider a prepaid debit card. With a prepaid card, there's no credit card, check, and no minimum balance required. Millions of consumers are now using these types of cards for shopping and also transferring money. The trend seems to be gaining steam among banks, and that's good news for consumers. Many financial institutions now have lower fees for prepaid cards. Remember, a prepaid card is just like cash and may not have the same protection as a traditional debit card. The cost to own and operate a car is on the rise. AAA's annual Your Driving Cost study shows an increase of almost 2% over last year. The study reports a cost of just over $9,000 a year, assuming you drive 15,000 miles in a year. That translates to just over 60 cents per mile. It includes maintenance, gas, tires, insurance, and depreciation for an average sedan. Stay with us. We still have much more news coming up. We're going to have the very latest on that breaking news out of Texas, where crews are still on the scene of that large fertilizer plant explosion. Plus, refugees from the Congo have arrived in Syracuse. Coming up, we'll tell you how some local parishioners at a church worked for months to get them here.
You're watching Today in Central New York on NBC3.
Good morning again. We're so happy that you're starting off your Thursday with us. We have a lot to talk about this morning.
It's been a breaking news bonanza across this week here in Central New York and nationwide.
Absolutely. So we're going to talk about the forecast. We're also going to give you the latest developments happening out of Texas this morning, where crews are still on the scene of that large fertilizer plant explosion. Of course, they had to back way up. Firefighters were there to treat a fire, and then a big boom. There are people missing. They don't know how many people have been killed. More than 100 people hurt. So we'll have the latest on this breaking news straight ahead. Also coming up, the president will be heading to Boston today to speak at an interfaith service. There it is for the victims of the Boston Marathon bombing. So we're going to give you more information about how you can watch it, and we're also going to have the latest on the investigation. Anyway, some happy news this morning. Refugees from the Congo have arrived in Syracuse to their new home, and coming up, we're going to tell you how parishioners from one church worked to get them here.
All right, let's get to the forecast, which promises the warmest air of the season so far, of the year, too. Well, before we get that far, we still got to get out of that easterly wind, which we have, and what it's doing is producing some couple of showers. You see them right in here over the northern Finger Lakes. They're moving right towards us. These are light to moderate showers. I can't rule out it forming a brief thunder or lightning flash coming through. So just keep that in mind this morning. There's going to be a passing shower or thunderstorm. Now, temperatures are all over the place. They're in the 30s to the east, but 40s to near 50 elsewhere. Figure that's out of the way by midday and afternoon, and what a difference a few hours make, right? And a southerly wind. That's going to be gusty today. That's why I've got this graphic right here. Temperatures reaching a high today of 74. Our highest temperature before today, by the way, was 70 earlier this week for the year. So today, we topped that. Should be about as warm tomorrow before we fall off a cliff temperature-wise after that. We'll explain coming up, Lisa.
We are following the latest on breaking news this morning on that large fertilizer plant explosion in West Texas. Officials say it is going to be some time before they know exactly how many people have been killed in the explosion. EMS officials say as many as 100 people could be injured from the blast, and authorities say the fire triggered an explosion that could be felt 45 miles away. The explosion also caused major damage to nearby buildings, including homes. Firefighters were responding to the fire at the plant at the time when that explosion happened. The triage scene at a nearby high school was moved because of the danger. You're looking at cell phone video right now that is very tough to look at. Many area residents are without power. They've been evacuated, and right now the state police there are surveying surrounding areas, checking for any additional victims. The mayor says Texas needs prayers to overcome this tragedy.
We need your prayers. There's a lot of people that got hurt, and there's a lot of people that I'm sure are not going to be here tomorrow. So your prayers. This is a very, very strong community. We will bounce back. This is probably the most devastating thing that's happened to this community. But we're going to build back.
50 to 75 houses are damaged and an apartment complex with about 50 units was reportedly destroyed. The Red Cross right now is helping those forced out of their homes. And of course, stay with us. We will have the very latest on this breaking news throughout the morning and on the Today Show following us. Happening right now, the investigation continues into the Boston Marathon bombings. There could be a major break in the case. The president will be in Boston this morning to attend an interfaith service for victims of the bombings. That visit is coming just as authorities are moving closer toward releasing photos that could show who is responsible for this tragedy. Chris Pallone has the latest.
In Boston Wednesday night, an emotional outpouring of pride and resilience. Thousands of hockey fans at Boston Garden singing the national anthem as one, embracing the motto, Boston Strong. The small slice of normal capping a chaotic and tense day in the city, which saw investigators hone in on a possible suspect and an evacuation of the federal courthouse after a bomb threat. Sources tell NBC News a significant break in the case came Tuesday. Department store surveillance video near one of the blast sites captured images of a man leaving a bag or backpack at the spot where the bomb went off. It's pictures like this one from NBC affiliate WHDH helping investigators zero in on a suspect. While it's not clear if the garbage bag seen here contained a bomb, federal officials tell NBC that is the spot where the second device exploded. Former ATF bomb investigator Jim Kavanaugh says it's obvious to him.
Large injuries were on the side of it, debris field to the left, some protected areas over on the right side that indicate the blast was to the one side of the trash receptacle. This was the seat of the blast.
As memorials and tributes pile up around the crime scene, Bostonians are anxious for an arrest to be made soon.
I guess they're doing as best as they can. I mean, it's going to take a long time before they figure out who did this.
The next step in the healing process for a city on edge.
President Obama will be in Boston today and will be speaking at an interfaith service at a Catholic church this morning at 11 o'clock. You can watch it right here. We are going to carry it live on NBC3. It is 5:36. We have new information this morning from Syracuse police. A motorcycle driver has died from the injuries he sustained in a crash on James Street in Syracuse. The crash happened just before 8 o'clock last night at the corner of Sedgwick Street and James Street. According to police, the 38-year-old motorcycle driver slammed into the back of an SUV headed from Eastwood toward downtown. The impact caused the driver to be thrown from the bike, and he was then thrown into the road where he was hit by another car. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. His identity is not yet being released as his family is being notified. Right now, the investigation is continuing this morning. The Senate has rejected legislation to expand federal background checks on gun buyers. The bipartisan gun legislation was defeated yesterday. The tougher background checks lost by 6 votes. The president called a press conference soon after expressing his disappointment. The president called it a shameful day for Washington.
A majority of senators voted yes to protecting more of our citizens with smarter background checks. But by this continuing distortion of Senate rules, a minority was able to block it from moving forward.
Victims of gun violence, including Newtown families and former Congresswoman Gabrielle Gifford, stood behind the president during that press conference yesterday. Syracuse Mayor Stephanie Miner is declaring June Gun Violence Awareness Month. It is part of a statewide effort to spark education and discussions about gun violence in schools and communities. As part of the mayor's proclamation, she says people of the city of Syracuse have the right to live in communities and homes where they feel safe. Right now, folks in Cortland County are urged to be on alert when checking their mail after an explosive device damaged a mailbox in Cincinnatus. Sheriff's deputies found the device yesterday inside the mailbox on Telephone Road around 7 o'clock in the morning. Right now, investigators are not sure whether this incident was related just to this address and isolated. Now, if you see anything suspicious or if you have any tips at all, make sure that you call sheriff's deputies. Refugees from the Congo arrived in Syracuse to their new home. Tom Eschen tells us how parishioners at St. Anne's worked for months to help get them there.
After months of planning, St. Anne's parishioners were finally able to meet the Mogoshu family, who traveled from a refugee camp in Malawi to America. It was a welcome the Mogoshus did not expect.
We're really very happy to get here in New York, and people welcomed us this way. They welcomed us as if we were their family, and that's something we weren't expecting.
The Mogoshu speak Swahili only, but to bridge the language barrier, some of the St. Anne's children gave the family a homemade book.
And I made that book with English words so they could adjust to America.
From something as small as a book to something as big as a home, the parishioners filled up 2 pod storage units with beds, couches, and TVs to make the transition as easy as possible.
These people are coming from a war-torn country where they don't have the same opportunities that we do in this country. It just feels really good for us to take a little bit of our time and money and energy to make a real difference for this family. So it's really gratifying.
While the transition won't be exactly easy at first, the family says they're happy to be making it considering what they're coming from over in Africa.
Yeah, it was really important for us to leave life in the camp where it was really difficult. The children didn't study. There was no schools for them to go to. We often didn't have enough food to eat. We suffered a lot.
With the help of these volunteers, the family hopes to thrive here in their new home on Syracuse's north side. Reporting from Syracuse, I'm Tom Eschen.
And they're arriving just in time for some nicer temperatures, Pete.
Well, that's true. I've just zoomed in with the triple Doppler. Got a couple of showers forming. The reason why that's happening, and even a couple of downpours and possibility of thunder and lightning, is because there's some much warmer air that's coming later today. We'll explain next.
Welcome back. Right now, you are looking live at the AXA Towers in downtown Syracuse, and we see those temperatures right now, but there's good news, Pete. They're going up today.
The AXA Towers might say 75 later today.
Wow.
Yeah,
we haven't seen that in a long time.
You're exactly right. And actually, I have a graphic that's on my Facebook and Twitter page that lets you know the last time it did happen. And I'll have it later in the newscast, too.
You have everything.
Oh, thank you.
You're always covered.
I appreciate that. Here's a look at what's going on right now. It is in the mid-40s for most of us, although already 50 down in Lafayette, and further south, upper 40s to near 50, although you might notice it is still in the 30s further east. That's because there's still an easterly wind keeping in some of the cool air we had late last night. And we do expect to get ourselves out of the 40s and eventually into the 60s and 70s today. How we're doing that? There's a warm front right about there or so. And as I talked about yesterday, until that front gets through, there's an opportunity for some developing scattered showers, which are knocking on the doorstep right now of Syracuse. So there's an opportunity for a couple of passing showers or thunder showers early this morning. Then we get into the midday and afternoon, and all this activity should lift north. And this is where we're going to play later today. What you do see is some clouds, but a lot of these clouds are thin, so it's a mix of sun and clouds. What you don't see is the wind. Well, the wind direction is southerly. It's also gusty. So look for a rather breezy afternoon. Let's get to the details. Yep, 74 degrees is going to be your high temperature today. The highest temperature so far in 2013 was 70, and that was on Monday. So I think we passed that today. With that southerly wind continuing tonight, we do expect temperatures to stay really warm. I think Syracuse, the city, probably doesn't get below 60. Tomorrow, a combination of clouds and sun, windy, high in the mid-70s. The winds generally are going to be 15 to 30 with gusts past 40. We are going to get a cold front that comes through very late in the day. During the mid and late afternoon, there'll be an opportunity for rain showers. Now, if we get a stronger thunderstorm to form, that could potentially cause some damaging winds. The chances aren't that high, but there's a slight risk. I'll have to keep an eye on that for you just in case. The temperature, let's say about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, will be 76. The temperature by 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, will be 46. We're going to drop 30 degrees in a few hours and not get out of the 40s on Saturday. Sunday appears to be the brightest weekend day. 545 traffic and weather together. But we do know West Street North and 41 North continue to have the same construction. The real question is, will 81 North and South have lane closures in the vicinity of Taft Road? I'm not sure. They were working on it yesterday. I have not received an update about it today. We'll see. Webcam shot for you. 690 at Teal looks A-OK. We'll keep you posted on all the traffic information for you. And if you see a problem on the road, you can always let me know about it on Facebook and Twitter. Plus, you can call me at 315-477-9400. Lisa?
All right, so Pete, I know you like to run. Do you ever maybe jump rope for exercise?
You want me to get injured? Because that's exactly what I'm not doing.
No, but I would like to watch it. I think that would probably be pretty funny.
The last time I've done jump rope was maybe 6th grade. I don't know.
Okay, so that was, years and years and years and years and years ago. Okay.
Decades ago.
Yes. Okay. Well, I'll stop picking on you right now. And you have to see this video because this woman is amazing. She takes jump roping to a whole new level. Check it out. This isn't what you used to do back in the day.
No, she's got some skills.
Yes, some mad skills going on. Dubbed the world's greatest jump roper, the athlete does everything. You can see she does cartwheels, she jumps around. Look, wow, there's her cartwheel. She makes it look really easy. I can only do it 3 times and I barely can keep going and I'm huffing and puffing.
And she's doing it with a smile, which is even more difficult.
1 foot.
On stairs, no less. She's amazing. Good stuff there.
Very, very cool video. It is good exercise.
It is. She's in good shape.
It is 5:46 right now. We're gonna, celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday going out to Ryan Holland. Ryan is turning 7 today.
Amelia, happy 8th birthday to you.
If you want to wish somebody a happy birthday, send us their name, birth date, and a photo. You have to do it at least a full week in advance. Just go to our website, and that's where you can fill out the Birthday Bash entry form. Good morning and welcome back here to Today in Central New York. We want to tell you about the CNY Breakfast Club. We want you at home to join in. We have great contests and giveaways in store for you. It is so simple to sign up. Just go to our website, cnycentral.com, and that's where you can click on the Breakfast Club link at the top of the page. When you get there, simply fill out the form, and then you will be an official member of the club. And of course, that's going to make you eligible for great prizes and contests. We're letting members in on exclusive deals from your favorite businesses all over Central New York. We have more local news right now. A Madison County man is charged with attempted murder, accused of trying to kill his father, hitting him with a baseball bat up to 16 times. State police say 20-year-old Vincent Stile pepper sprayed his father, Anthony, as he laid on the couch before hitting him with a bat. Now Anthony is in critical condition in the hospital, recovering from multiple fractures to his skull. Vincent is in jail on $500,000 bail. It all started, according to authorities, with an argument at their home on Route 26 in Eaton. State police have made an arrest after an investigation conducted by the Computer Crimes Unit. It was a 4-month-long investigation, and here are the details. Troopers arrested 32-year-old Amokus Thomas in connection with a child porn case. Thomas is charged with promoting a sexual performance by a child and possession of a sexual performance of a child. He is being held in lieu of $10,000 cash bail pending grand jury action. You can get news any time of the day by going to our website, cnycentral.com.
Good Thursday morning. It is 5:53. Let's get you out the door with your Today in Central New York NBC3 forecast. For the time being, right now in Syracuse, it's not raining, but it should start raining shortly for a brief time. Sky's still pretty dark, although we'll start getting first light, showing you some clouds. Now today, while we're starting with a wide range, there's 30s, 40s, and 50s. There's actually 30s in Shenango and Otsego County. There are some showers, and despite the fact that there's rain on the radar, this is actually some good news in that eventually a warm front will push through, lift these showers north, and it's a gateway to warmth this afternoon. In North Syracuse, in Clay and Cicero and Brewerton, there's a little brief shower there, and there are some showers on the Thruway and 31 and Route 5 corridors there, right around Jordan and Weedsport and let's see here, Geneva and Seneca Falls. These are moving from west to east, so these will cross the area during the course of the morning. There's some rain up here in the North Country, too, by Ogdensburg. Putting this back together and just showing you some motion. You can see these showers between Buffalo and Syracuse have been forming over the last hour, and that's why I think a lot of us from about this line north will have a best opportunity for at least some passing showers this morning. I say the word passing because they should pass through and get out of here. From midday and afternoon, we're going to be brighter will be windy, but the wind direction, which is easterly, northeasterly right now, will become southerly, and that's going to make a big difference in the temperature. So we hit 70 on Monday, 64 Tuesday. Yesterday was 57, which is really close to the normal high. Today, I'm forecasting a high of 74 and 76 on Friday, 47, a big fall there in temperatures on Saturday. I wanted to show you this. Those asterisks are because of the fact that it hasn't happened yet. Those are forecast highs. The last time we've been this warm, that 74 and 76, was back on October 25th and 26th of last year. And the last time we've had about 5 days of this kind of weather was back in late October. So it's been 6 months almost in the making. Further west, there's also a lot of rain in Michigan and the Midwest. Eventually, we'll get into some of that heavier rain mid-afternoon, late afternoon tomorrow. You could see the gateway to those 70s about to push in later this afternoon. We're expecting a high temperature, at least in Syracuse, of about 74. Get a little bit of a slow start with clouds and a possibility of a passing shower or thunder shower. By the lunch hour and through the afternoon, big difference, 66 at noon and into the lower 70s this afternoon. The wind will be increasing from the south today, 15 to 30, with gusts of 40 miles an hour. We should start with clouds and then increase the sunshine through the day. 50-50 sun and clouds at the end of the day, cloudy. Now, it looks like we're going to see showers and storms either middle or late afternoon tomorrow. If they're just your run-of-the-mill showers, then that would be a good thing, because if the thunderstorms form and are heavier, we could have a problem with some damaging winds. That is not a definite, and it's certainly not a probability. It's just a possibility. We're certainly going to get some rain, though, in the afternoon. Yes, that does say flurries possible Saturday. High temperature on Saturday, no better than the 40s. You're up to date with the forecast. Time now for traffic and weather together. Right before I came out here, I checked, and there were no accidents confirmed in Onondaga County. That means no slowdowns with respect to that, but we're keeping an eye on any construction. Now, we still have some construction on West Street and 481. Yesterday, we had 81 having some construction. We'll see if they do that again today in North Syracuse. Webcam shot for you. 690 at TL looks good. If you see a problem on the road, let me know about it on Facebook or Twitter at CNY Central. Back inside.
Here's a quick look at what's coming up next here on Today in Central New York. We have new information just in about that plant explosion in Texas. Stay with us. That's coming right up.